What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Mike Dolce Show, Ask the Dietitian edition. Once again, Professor Lindsay Howard is fixing a internet connection issue. We'll be back on momentarily. Great to see you guys. Now you can see in the chat, I just posted, text the word coffee to 732-487-3445 and get this awesome Dolce Coffee Roasters limited edition mug. This is a 15-ounce, bulletproof, cozy, amazing goblet, if you will. It is a 4-finger mug for those of you who know and care, and it's incredible. I love it there. This is a limited edition mug. By the way, only a certain number, 100 of these, have been made, and this is the only, sorry, I'm getting some text messages from friends who are watching right now. You guys are awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. But this is completely free. These mugs are retailing for $17 plus, which is worth every penny. Literally bulletproof is a great term to use for these. They're massive. They're gnarly, and they're free. The only thing I ask is you cover whatever local shipping to your area, and you have your choice of shipping options. I will cover the cost of the mug, and a few select people might even get a complimentary bag of our 100% craft roasted specialty coffee, 100% organic craft roasted specialty coffee, I should say. So text that number once again as we're waiting for Professor Howard to jump back in. Jake Paul or Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather. We're going to talk about that in a moment here. Also, the big conversation today for you guys: is it too late to get summer ready, to get your summer body? And what we're going to do is we're going to give you 3 very specific tips to get you dramatically looking good for the beach season, for the pool season, for the lake season, for the barbecue season, whatever that season is going to be. We're going to help you expedite that. So start putting your questions into the chat. What we're going to do here is we are going to cover a topic, and then we're going to jump in and answer some of your questions, jump back out, answer a few more topics, and keep going. Remember, check the chat inside the chat right now to text the word coffee. For those just joining in, hello, thank you for being here. Text the word coffee to 732-487-3445. Look in the links below in the video description so you can text that word coffee and get a free mug. Again, these are awesome. I wanted to make sure you guys have access to these, the 4-finger mug. I typically hold the mug like this. That's kind of my way to hold it. It's the curve is like putting your hand very gently and consensually around the waist of your special sweetheart. That's the way these cups make me feel, by the way. So as we get going here, what's up, Nick L? Good to see you. I appreciate you, my man, Nick L. out there in Chicago. Gian says, Mike, is it normal to feel anxiety when getting too lean? That's how I've been feeling lately. Well, anxiety from all the consensual, prospective suitors that you might have. Yeah, that's actually very real. It's very possible. Getting lean is a sign of success. It's a sign of confidence, and it is very, very attractive. Is that what you mean, Gian? Because that's the only type of anxiety I'm accustomed to feeling. That's not true, by the way. Stevie, what's up, Stevie? Good to see you. Lynn, hey, Lynn, good morning. What time should I have my espresso shot before my morning slow heart rate cardio, which is list, by the way? Can I say I love the frozen grapes? What a game changer. Amen. We love those frozen grapes. For those of you who don't know, those frozen grapes are a Dolce diet hack. Take red grapes, wash them off, pick them from the little vine, wash them off, and put them into a gallon Ziploc bag. Throw them into the freezer, freeze them down. When you're sitting down at night with your special sweetheart, your Netflix and chilling, you get that bit of a crave. You want something sweet, something succulent, something crunchy. You want that ice cream. Go and put a coffee mug. Fill a coffee mug up with those frozen grapes, sit down and just slowly eat those. It's like ice cream, mochi, deliciousness all wrapped in one. So that's a great hack right there. Lynn, thank you for noting that. Now, what time should you have your espresso shot? I usually have mine about 20 minutes before the workout. I wake up, I start hydrating, immediately start hydrating, and, wash up in the restroom. I get my gear on. I sip the espresso. I drink a little bit more water, and then I'm out the door. So I'd say about 15 to 30 minutes before, just to get that little caffeine bump. Brandy's texting me right now, popular bakeries in New Jersey. I don't know what she's up to. She's trying to get in the way of these gains, right? Of these gains. That's not true. Brandy loves the gains. Adam, so I'm 240. I need to be 200. Can I do that by the end of August? Adam, in my opinion, absolutely. Click the link below right now. You can also check out my Instagram page. Can I show you? Let me show you right now. Let me take you to my Instagram page here in a moment, my friends. I want to show you an amazing photo from Mr. Fraser Opie, who had a dramatic Dolce diet transformation. Let me pull this up for you. Let me share the screen with you. Let me take you on over to the Dolce Diet Instagram page. If you don't follow, you definitely should be following us. That's odd. There we go. Bam! So we're on the Instagram page right now. Now let me show you this. This is Mr. Fraser Opie from the UK. This was Fraser's Dolce diet transformation. Now this was about 30 pounds, I believe he lost in 3 weeks on the 3 weeks of shredded program. This is blurred out, but he actually had his details and stats here that shows what he went from, what the dates were and whatnot. But he wound up losing, I believe, approximately 60 pounds in total during his own personal Dolce diet transformation during his training camp. This body right here is about a 30-pound weight loss following our 3 weeks to shredded program. Right? Phenomenal. So your question, Fraser Opie, of course, and he had a backstory. He had a very compelling backstory that was shared privately. So I'm not compelled to share it just out of respect to Fraser. His backstory was incredible. The transformation, you can see how incredible this is. So you're 240 now. You want to be 200 by the end of August. So you have all June, you have all July, and then you have August. Go right now. Click the link below. Go to thedolcediet.com right now. Start our 12-week personalized online weight loss program. This is a total body transformation program. Click or use the promo code TRANSFORM to save 25% right now as my special gift to you to jumpstart. Is it possible? Absolutely. Now, individual results may vary, which is very important. But the expectation for me is to see a 40-pound weight loss easily during the 12-week period of the Dolce diet or of our Living Lean program. So to see a 40-pound weight loss over that 12-week period of time following our Living Lean program, that is my expectation for the people who have that type of weight to lose, right? Some people don't quite have that weight to lose. Hey, that's fine. If you lose 28 pounds because that's what you had to lose, awesome. If you have 40 or more pounds to lose, I definitely say thedolcediet.com. And I'm just going to throw this up here. My man, Uncle Jason Cutshaw, 1 year later, 3 weeks to shredded sustainable. Jason had his own 40-plus pound Dolce diet transformation. Jason is just in here. And Jason, if you wanted to maybe just throw into the comments here in a few minutes, briefly, I'm going to be highlighting Jason just like I'm highlighting Fraser here on our Instagram page. Jason, if you could just briefly throw your stats in. Jason's story was incredible also, and he did this during COVID. So I'm sorry to run a little bit long on that, Adam, but I wanted to answer Adam's question because I understand how it feels to be locked in a body that does not feel like yours and to feel hopeless. And as I said in this post with Fraser, I said, sometimes setting a goal is not enough. We also need a plan, right? If you want to be a doctor, great. You want to be a doctor. That's awesome. How are you going to be a doctor? You need a plan. You need curriculum. You need a track. You need to have certain waypoints to go through. That's what we've built. I'm so proud to have built this for you guys. That's what we have built at thedolcediet.com. This feels like I'm trying to sell it. I'm not trying to sell it. This thing crushes it all by itself on its own through word of mouth. And you'll notice we don't chase you around social media. You don't get pop-up ads. You don't get Facebook ads. You don't get Google AdWord crawlers. You don't get any of that stuff. We don't need to do that. We might do it sometime in the future for niche audiences. We might test things out, but we currently don't do that. We have no plans to do that. Why is that? It's all word of mouth. It's more traffic than we can literally handle. We have to keep adding members to our team. And by the way, we are adding members to our team right now. I am looking for a part-time remote assistant who has strong customer service skills and very organized, strong customer service skills, and can type and write. Help us with some blogs, some of the copy editing, but really help as a liaison to our DDC community and some of the overflow of the customer service going through. If anyone is interested in that, jobs at thedolcediet.com. This is a part-time remote position working with our team. It can grow into a full-time position, and you'll be very well paid for doing this. We certainly do our best to make sure we take care of people specifically on that side. So this is a lot of information I'm throwing on, but without further ado, bam, there she is, Professor Lindsay Howard. Lindsay, how are you? Great to see you. And still dealing with the internet issue update.
I'd be doing a lot better if this internet worked.
A little bit of internet lag. It might be helpful. Are you on your PC right now, your laptop? Lag. Lindsay, you might want to try setting up that iPhone and just streaming live through your 5G on your iPhone. Maybe that will be beneficial. We'll go old school this time. We'll go 2018 and just do the live iPhone stream. If you want to try doing that, that might be helpful, Lindsay. You're super lagged right now.
I will give it a shot.
Give it a shot. There we go. All right. So Lindsay will be back. I'll keep going through answering some of these questions. But Adam, again, you are 240. Man, anyone who has the weight to lose, start the program. Try the program. Give the program a shot. Give the program a shot. Do you want to change your life? You have a goal. You set a goal. You want to make a change. Now what? Every single day, every single meal is plotted out for you. Every single meal is personalized to you. Every meal, every recipe, every ingredient is created for you at thedolcediet.com. Every workout, every set, every rep is detailed specifically for you. It's a robust ecosystem inside your dashboard at thedolcediet.com. And our team is with you every step of the way. Click the link below and get started. That's what I want to share with you. And also, again, we are giving away these free mugs. We're selling these right now for $17 or so. We might actually bump these up. We were thinking about bumping these up. We've sold some for over $20, just as a little blurb. So this is a limited edition Dolce Coffee Roasters mug. This thing, you can hear that is freaking bulletproof. And this is my style of drinking, by the way. That's the way. It's warm. It holds the heat of your coffee in here. It's amazing. But I'm giving these away for free right now. If you text us, you can actually see the text. Let me throw it in again. Text the word coffee to 732-487-3445. I want to give every single one of these mugs away today, and I'm pretty sure I can see actually the hits going into the text messages coming through will probably be sold. These will be sold out by the end of this episode. I just ask that you cover the shipping for a couple dollars, local shipping. You can choose your shipping options. That's fine. So, and the team will take care of you. We're going to throw in some free swag to some people, by the way. So we're going to hook you guys up. All right, now, moving on. Manal Ramos. Hey, Mike, just started 3 weeks to Shredded today. Looking forward to the next few weeks. Take your photo right now. I mean, Fraser Opie, 3 weeks to Shredded. Bam! Bam! Right? Bam! I want some of that. We want to see some of that. Take your photo today. Keep us posted. Follow the plan as it's scripted. The first couple days, let me clear up some confusion. The first couple days are going to be pretty simple. You're going to eat very similar meals each day for the first 4 days, and then the program starts to change. People say, oh, do I have to eat the same thing 2 days in a row? Yeah. For the first 4 days, what do? We set a very specific menu. You're eating 6 times a day. You're having salmon stir fry for dinner. You're having the breakfast bowl for breakfast. You're having eggs and scrambles and omelets for lunch, turkey bacon. Are you kidding me? But people say, oh, do I have to eat the same thing every single day? No, it's not every single day. It's just for the first 4 days. Why is this? It is to eliminate metabolic variability. Most people, they eat like a dickhead. They've been eating like a dickhead for 20, 30, 40 years. And then we say, hey, let's take a couple days. Let's get the digestive system to clear itself out. Let's take back control of your metabolism. You've been eating like an idiot for the last 3 weeks. And most people, we know this because we have done a ton of research into this. Most people know they're going to start a diet on Monday. So what do? They go hog ass wild. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They go crazy and stuff themselves. We know this. It's going to take 4 days for their body to clear all the damage of the days before, and we need metabolic consistency. That's why the first 4 days are very similar. Now, some people, depending on your start, you'll have different days. Some people have rotating days. Most people, though, will fall into the category. Your first 4 days are pretty similar. And then it starts to change. And then week 2, it changes more often. Week 3, it changes considerably. So that's that's the expectation. If you can't follow it for 21 days, well, good luck ever losing weight, to be fair with you. It's like saying, hey, here's the GPS. You want to get from New York to LA. Here's the GPS. And it says, pull out of your driveway, turn left. And you say, do I really have to turn left? I think I'm going to turn right. I'm tired of turning left. It's nonsensical, but if you feel that, hey, that's fine. That's just old you trying to sabotage new you. That's fat you trying to sabotage lean you. That's unhealthy you trying to sabotage healthy you. Just follow the plan. This is a proven, time-tested, 100% successful for over 20-year working with the world's greatest athletes program. Give it a try. Manel, very excited for you. Jesse Lee, waiting on my next opponent, training like an animal, endless gas tank, BMT striking, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, fighting strikers to turn into wrestlers. Hell yeah. Brother, I'm excited for you, Jesse. That's awesome, my man. Henrik, my brother. What's up, man? What's up, guys? Hope you had a nice weather weekend. Are you looking forward to another Figueiredo versus Moreno war this Saturday? I am. That last fight was awesome. When Lindsey pops back in, we're going to talk about Logan Paul, Floyd Mayweather, and some of the other MMA landscapes. So I'm excited for that with Lindsey when we jump back on. And if anybody is in here right now, I know Dave B may or may not jump in. Dave B, if you're here, do you want to timestamp this in real time? That would be super cool to see Dave B. I got to get Dave B on. I got to get Dave B on the payroll for his stamping skills. If we can get this timestamped in real time, throw it into the comments below. First one to throw it in the comments below, you will get a free Dolce Coffee Roasters mug. You will get a free Dolce Coffee Roasters bag of 100% whole bean craft roasted specialty coffee, certified organic. And something else cool. The first one to do it, and Dave B, if you're listening, this does not replace you. And Dave B, I got special gifts coming your way, of course. I just got to get through Canadian customs. Uncle Mike, Jason, you answered that. Yep, we spoke about that, Jason. I want to see your update, brother. Took your advice and have been doing a minimum of 45 plus minutes daily of fasted lists, and my legs are looking peeled. Yes! Thanks for that gem, Friday, boss. So here's what happened. Panther the Great came in and said, hey, man, I'm super shredded upstairs. Let me timestamp this. So he's like, dude, I'm super peeled upstairs. He said, but my legs just don't get lean. What's going on? And I touched on the issue of gender-specific stubborn body fat or stubborn body fat and the biochemical issue. We spoke about this, which is why we speak about lists quite often. So I spoke about this with Panther. I troubleshot it with him, told him, or hopefully taught him how to approach his exercise. He incorporated our lists program, which is what? This is lists specifically targets those stubborn body fat areas through low intensity fasted cardio in the absence of insulin, which has a preferential impact on the alpha and beta receptors inside the fat cell. The presence of insulin is very challenging. The absence of insulin allows those stubborn fat cells to work at the same rate as our efficient fat cells. This is not spot reduction, though we could point towards specific body parts we can target through this style, but we're only getting the laggards up to the mean in the performers, right? So that's kind of what this is. Panther's super happy I was able to get in and help you. And again, who gives this free information out there? Bang, bang, give this video a thumbs up, guys and gals. If you have not yet, I'm asking just a little bit lately to give this video a thumbs up, engage with us in the comments. We're trying to get back in the algorithms, and you guys will help us get there. Feel free to click on some of the other videos, give us a little bit of that algorithm play. If you see any of our videos pop up, give it a click, give it a thumbs up, let it play, listen to what we have to say, open up a new tab, let it play in the back of the browser. We appreciate that. That's some of the ways to sneak back into the algorithm, and that's what we're trying to do here. We appreciate you guys. Bam! Professor Howard, she's back. Oh, but now we cannot hear you. This is awesome. There she is.
I was muted.
All right. Looking good. Good video. Audio sounds great. Professor Lindsay Howard, everyone. She is back on.
I don't know what goes on in this buildking. Like the
Sure.
internet works one day, it doesn't work the next. Upstairs, downstairs, whatever.
Well,
but here we are.
Stealing the bandwidth.
That's right.
Right?
There's not supposed to be that many people on campus. Come on.
Yeah. So Professor Lindsay Howard, by the way, you are a professor of, what is your specialty?
So I mostly teach in the exercise science department. I also have athletic training students, but I teach exercise physiology, 2 different exercise physiology classes, testing and prescription, which is like the NSCA textbooks, strength and conditioning. Books right here, actually. Boom.
I have this book, by the way.
Teach out of that book. Also do some ACSM stuff, but those are like my main classes. Teach a couple different activity type courses like weightlifting and teaching group exercise, stuff like that. But physiology is, I would teach physiology all day. That's your jam.
Now, in addition to exercise physiology, you are also a licensed registered dietitian.
Yep. Yeah. So hopefully this year I'll get into kind of branching into the nutrition department that we have here.
Sure.
And teach a couple classes in nutrition as well.
That's awesome. So you are crushing it. Now, let's everyone here. So let's take a brief moment and say, did you follow the Logan Paul Floyd Mayweather fight this weekend?
I did.
And thoughts?
So it was a spectacle.
Yeah.
First of all, I turned it on and I'm like, Ocho Cinco's fighting? I had no idea.
I had no idea either. What the hell?
I'm looking at it. I turned it on. It was like the second round. I'm like, that's Chad Johnson. What is he doing here?
Yeah.
But and then it was funny because he was just in the stands like drinking a beer after watching Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather. But no, it was definitely entertaining. I'm glad that it was 8 rounds, but it's kind of like, okay, it's over. Let's leave it up to speculation. So
who do you have a winner loser? Did you judge it at all yourself?
Yeah, I mean, the Showtime announcers were like hating on Logan Paul for sure. They were like, this kid doesn't even stack up. Like, he got embarrassed, blah, blah, blah. But I thought he hung in there. Okay. Yeah. He didn't look very technical. Not that I'm like a boxing expert by any means. I thought it was super sloppy. I think Floyd Mayweather got a little frustrated because I thought he probably thought like, oh, I'm going to mess with this kid for a few rounds and then just like have my shots. But he did say afterwards, he was like, Logan's a lot better than I gave him credit for. So no, but I thought it was entertaining. Very, very sloppy. They got broken up more than they were actually boxing. So it was like a hugging match.
It was, I thought Bo Hightower had posted something. Maybe he didn't. Let me see if I can find it. Jake, God, Bo posts so much. This is, and I'll tell you exactly what I'm trying to find here. It's not. So there's a video going around on the internet of Floyd Mayweather a few years back, 2017 or so maybe, and Logan Paul. And Floyd Mayweather is telling everyone, hey, I'm this kid's manager. You need to follow him. He's a tough kid, this, that. We're going to get that money. So at the end of the day, Logan and Floyd, they're buddies. They're friends. They had a business relationship together, whatever that might be. On camera, Logan's like, yeah, he is. So Floyd Mayweather, for whatever, was instrumental in grooming Logan and probably coming up with the master plan for Logan's career. So we've all been trolled if we believed it was real. Right, the Steve Austin versus Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant. Like if we're believing that, or Rocky Balboa versus Ivan Drago, if you're believing the narrative, go along for the ride, have fun. But if you understand the fight game, dude, these two are buddies. And Floyd said, this is legal bank robbery, and I'm the best at it. And that's the truth. What did I think? Do you care what I think?
Let's hear it.
Okay. I think it was a sparring match. It was two buddies getting in there, throwing bombs at each other. I do this with my buddies sometimes. We glove up. We go at it. We don't try to knock each other out. We just try and, get the best of each other. And now it's like, hey, man, if I get whacked kind of hard, well, I'm going to try and whack back a little bit, right? We're going to try what it, but we're not trying to win him per se. We're just trying to move and have fun and work. We're working. I felt Floyd was in there working. Now, Floyd is punching up 40, 50 pounds. Right. Floyd was a little chubby at 155, chubby for Floyd, because we've seen Floyd peeled down in the low 40s and high 30s, right? Peeled. We've seen him peeled, scraped out, as the late Matt Porter would say. I love that term, scraped out, because it's very visual. Floyd's best weight is below 142, in my opinion. Floyd was a little fluffy at 155. Logan was shredded at 89 and a half. Best shape I've ever seen Logan Paul. Logan's walking around over 200. So Floyd is literally fighting a guy 25% heavier than he is. So he's giving up a 50-pound, is that true? A 50-pound plus advantage come fight night. Logan probably floated up over 200. Floyd was probably 155 on fight night. Floyd didn't cut to make 55. He just showed up, stepped on. So giving that, I didn't foresee any knockout coming. Very hard, no matter how good the fighter is, it's very hard, just based on the laws of physics. It's very hard for a man of 150-pound stature to knock out a man of 200-pound stature who has the defensive motivation of not getting knocked out.
Right.
It was very clear that they weren't even the same category of a pugilist, a boxing athlete. But at the same time, it was an exhibition. It was like watching a rock concert. Was it a good show? The build-up, the spectacle was good enough. It wasn't good boxing, right? It wasn't fun. I mean, the Mayweather versus McGregor fight, that was a lot more enjoyable to watch. I think Conor did a lot better, right? I think Floyd carried Conor a little bit in that one too, until the point of the TKO. I think Floyd could have turned it up a few rounds early. Just my opinion, by the way. But that's what great boxers do. They pull their competitor, especially one with power like a Conor McGregor, into deep water, and then they turn up the heat on him. So that's just my thoughts. I would love to see what everybody thinks. Leave in the comments after this video post. Don't throw it into the chat. The chat's for answering questions. Leave the comments after this video post. For everyone watching on the replay, leave the video for after this video post. We definitely want to hear what you guys think about that. And I'm just taking notes as we're going. Any other closing thoughts on that, Linz, before we get into the main topic, which is Summer Shredded?
Yeah, I mean, it's entertainment. They're doing it to make money. And you also want to make sure that the people that actually purchase the fight are left feeling like, okay, I guess that was worth it.
Yeah.
Some of these, like, and it's hard because, I mean, the UFC is real. Like, that's not staged. Like, these are actual fights. Oh my gosh. X-Files. I could hear the theme song going. But no, I mean, you pay for a pay-per-view and you can't help if it's, first round knockout, or like when Jorge Masvidal knocked out Ben Askren in the first 7 seconds or whatever it was. That's entertaining still. But, people will say, oh, it wasn't even worth it. It was so quick. We didn't even get to see them fight. So I'm sure in both of their minds, they're like, we need to make this, as entertaining as possible, talking to each other, the theatrics and all that stuff. So, I mean, it was entertaining. Was it completely real? I don't know, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's no more real than you and one of your best friends playing one-on-one together. Right? Mm-hmm. You're trying to do well, but you're not trying to hurt him or her, right?
Yeah.
You're not trying to like.
Only difference is I didn't walk away with $20 million.
I know. I mean, right. I've heard anywhere between for Logan, anywhere between 2 million and 20 million when all said and done. And for Floyd, I've heard anywhere between 20 and 120. Now
that's absurd.
Absurd money. I mean, absurd money. It's certainly, they're doing just a little bit better than this YouTube channel. I think we generated, maybe we'll make $300 on the YouTube channel, by the way. So we do not do this. My internet bill is more than that, by the way, just so you guys know. So this YouTube channel is not like, we're not here generating revenue. This is all completely free content for you guys to just provide you a tremendous amount of value. So just to keep it real. Now Floyd say, I got $30 million for the patches on my shorts. I don't believe that. Floyd is a great marketer. He's a great promoter. I don't believe that. I know the industry. What patch was worth $30 million on those shorts?
Right.
Where's the ROI? Businesses, they look for ROI. There's no ROI on that. There's no ROI on that, right? I know what they
close.
No. It's a couple $1 million to get your logo on the canvas, right? So Floyd, Floyd's he's dicking around a little bit now. He's made real money. Floyd knows how to make money, but he can even up his value, up his number by lying and pretending. That he's overestimating, I should say. I don't want to call him a liar per se. Right. He does have the domestic abuse on his record, so we got to ding him for that. And that's another. I'm going to say something now that's very controversial. I want to hear what you guys think. Everyone's a huge fan of Mike Tyson, right? Mike Tyson. I'm a fan of Mike Tyson. I'm conflicted. I'm a fan of Mike Tyson of some of his boxing events, but also Mike Tyson was convicted of rape. Domestic, was it sexual assault or rape? He was convicted, and I don't have, so someone can throw the facts out there. He was convicted and did jail time for sexual assault. One of the terms associated with that, I don't know what the legalese here are, and did jail time for that. But he's still heralded by the media, by the pop culture, in the era of Harvey Weinstein.
Right.
And this is where, like, morally, and I'm a man with 2 daughters. Like, I'm a man who lives in a home completely filled with women. Like, I'm very old school in a way, very protective, like very, I'm a dad, I'm a girl dad, right? So I look at this and it's like, like I kind of like, like, I'm the dad to, like, I see some, weird looking dude. I like pull my girls close to me. It's like, what the hell? So I just say this, like, what do you guys think? So, and Lindsay, if you want to share something on that, but everyone, don't throw it into the chat right now. If you wouldn't mind, please reserve this and leave it in the comment section below this video, because I want to answer your health and fitness related questions inside the chat. And this is a whole nother video. And I want to be very, neutral in this. I'm conflicted of Tyson, what he did for the sport of boxing as an athlete. Now, this does certainly seems to be a changed man. I don't know, very reflective. I know he suffered very, trauma in his life. I know his young daughter passed away, which no parent would ever want to deal with. And I have, sympathy for that. But at the same time, this is an individual who was convicted of a very serious sexual crime and is heralded in the media in the age of Harvey Weinstein. And it's very hard for me to intellectually come to terms with that and deal with that. Do you have any thoughts on that, Lindsay?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. Like, it seems like sports stars get away with things a little bit more in terms of, like, not legally get away with things, but people are very quick to forget.
Yeah.
So you've got all-stars playing for the Kansas City Chiefs, and there's a video of, I won't use a name here, but video of him dragging his girlfriend down a hotel hallway.
Yeah.
But it's okay. You'll still wear his jersey.
Yeah.
Then somebody like, and I know that's a one-time thing versus like you brought up Harvey Weinstein, which is like years and years of like horrible, horrible stuff.
Yep.
But, oh, that guy's a scumbag. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like people are quick to forget when it's like an idol, a sports idol, which is like, where are your standards? You should feel the same way. You know, if somebody commits crime A, you should feel the same way towards them, regardless of their social status or whatever it may be. So it's interesting to see. You see that a lot in the NFL. Look at what is his name? Greg Hardy. So gets ripped in the NFL.
Yeah.
Beats his girlfriend up. There's pictures, all this stuff. Charges magically get dropped, and all of a sudden he's like a well-known UFC fighter. It's just crazy. So, but I think that also shows a lot about like team owners, like Kansas City Chiefs. Where are your morals if you're keeping all these, I'll say, criminals on your team? But
I agree with you. It's challenging. It's conflicting. And I understand both sides, to be fair. Like I can see, you know, America loves a failure. They love to see someone knocked from the top.
Right.
But then they also love the redemption story. You look at Robert Downey Jr., right? I don't know if you remember the days where Robert Downey Jr. was brought into the courtroom in the orange jumpsuit with his, you know, drug addiction. He was a degenerate. Like he was this heroin addict, and he says it all himself. Right. And then he goes on to become the highest paid box office draw in all Hollywood history with Iron Man. Like later on into his career, and everyone loves that story also. So they love to see someone get knocked down, and they love to see someone build their way back up. Is that the Tyson story? I believe in redemption, 100%. I believe in redemption, but at the same time, it's like it's the tough one to chew on, and you never hear it mentioned. I think that's where I cringe a little bit. You never hear it mentioned. It does get swept under the rug, and I don't know that that's fair to all sexual assault survivors out there, right? Is that fair? And do people cringe when that happens? And I believe it was Desiree Washington was her name. I apologize if I'm forget on this. I'm incorrect on some of this. So I'm just kind of pulling from, you know, old memory files here. What is, you know, so anyway, what is the story? But I'm just a little bit conflicted. You hear his name thrown around so much. Without that, it's like, man, like there's people losing their jobs for using a borderline, you know, racial slur that was totally culturally appropriate 20 years ago. Right. But when they were 16 years old, they were joking with their friends and they let a little word slide into the conversation. And then they're losing their job, right or wrong. Hey, I don't know. But then you get someone who was convicted, tried by a jury and convicted and under, you know, with due process, did their time. And it's just, and totally, you know, out there, not canceled, making millions and millions. So anyway, I know a little bit long conversation here, and everyone, just let us know. Let us know in the comments after this video post, of course, what do you guys think? And maybe Lindsay and I will come back and we'll actually do a video on that, and we'll pull up some of the other sports stars, because I know that's one of the issues. I don't like Floyd. I don't like Floyd because of his long-standing history of domestic abuse and domestic violence. He has a long-standing history of convictions, if you will, or pleas, because he has such an amazing legal team, has so much money. There's a long history of this, right? And he's out there making hundreds of millions of dollars. Yeah. So it's just shitty that athletes get elevated for some reason when they should be treated just like everybody else and smacked out to the you know. Anyway, so all right, let's shake that crappiness off. All right. And anyone interested right now, so send an email to jobs@thedolcediet.com. We are hiring. We are looking for a remote assistant with very strong customer service skills and writing skills, copywriting, copy editing skills. You can help us put together some articles for, you know, some of our websites. You can read through some stuff. We have a ton of data, a ton of content. If you have any sort of computer expertise, if you have any sort of WordPress expertise, that would be awesome. if you have any digital marketing skills, you actually know how to put some copy together, how to help us go through. We have so many new products coming out. The Dolce Way launch is imminent, by the way. We have so much stuff going on, but we have an overflow of customer service needs because the DolceDiet.com is killing it. We have such an amazing audience that all spreads word of mouth, amazing humans, and they have some questions. We need more team members. We have been hiring. We keep hiring, but I say, let's hire from our community right here, from you guys. If anyone is interested, it's a great way to work remotely in your pajamas at your home. You must be a good person. Be a good person. Have strong customer service skills, which simply means you truly want to help people. If you have that, we can help you. If you have experience working in customer service, great. If you know what Zendesk is, you're already catapulted to the top of the list. If you can do a little bit of research, some of it's going to be like, hey, I need you to go back and listen to Chael Sonnen's podcast, Joe Rogan's podcast. Some of it's going to be like, I need you to go back to listen to some of these podcasts when they talk about a few of these topics and just pull that topic for me, please. Like, we're talking about sitting in your underpants, if you will, holding the Dolce Coffee Roasters mug, sitting on, and you'll even get free coffee as a perk of the job. Lindsay, I got coffee coming your way too, by the way.
I was just about to say, if I text this number, am I getting a mug?
You're getting 2 mugs, actually. One for home, one for the office, 2 mugs for you, and probably more coffee than you can drink, because we have a new batch coming through right now, and I like to ship it out when it's just fresh and pristine. Anyway, so lots of stuff right here. And in a moment, when on our next topic, I'm going to put the want to work with us. I'm going to throw that up there. I'm looking at it right now. Lots of typos. But again, text that word coffee to 732-487-3445. These Dolce Coffee Roaster mugs, you will get a free mug. We're selling them for about $18 or so right now. And just cover the cost of shipping. That's all I ask, and you can choose your own shipping option. That's up to you. And we make no money on shipping, by the way. That's USPS or UPS. We don't charge handling fees on any of our products, by the way. So we give you the straight shipping. All right. So now let's jump back here a little bit. Actually, let me take this off the screen. Lindsay, the main kind of topic today, what we promoted this conversation was, is it too late? Very important. Everyone pay attention right now. Is it too late to get your summer body? Is it too late to get that in that summer shape? I put an Instagram post out yesterday on, let me see right here. Let me pull this up briefly. Yesterday, boom, and I said, summer pool parties start in February. Bam. And that's the truth. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by that? Summer pool parties start in February. Do you know what I mean by that, Lindsay?
I know what you mean. Well, I saw the title. No, it's not too late, but it's kind of already too late. This is a full-time job.
It is.
It's a full-time job. So I think people wait, like, especially those who live in like climates like you and I, where it's like winter, and then it's like summer. So people wait too long, and then they're like, oh shoot, like it's 85 degrees today, I have to put a bathing suit on. But yes, summer definitely starts way before summer actual weather starts. So yeah, full-time job.
Full-time job. It starts in February, which means we were talking about this since December, January, February. We did some promotions. We did some contests. We did the 10-pound down challenge to motivate people. We gave away a few $1,000s to people out there who got it going. Now, what does this mean? And this does not mean, nope, you can't get in shape for summer. We're going to tell you right now how to freaking sizzle come this weekend. Today's Monday. How to look freaking hot in your bikini this weekend. But I will say, had you started in February, you would have been smoking hot come April, right? It would have been dramatic. The changes would have been dramatic. I kind of started my own, man, summer's coming. I got some things going on. I got to do some traveling this year. Like I'm going to go visit some buddies in gyms this year, and they're going to try and show me up for sure. Like I got to get my game tight. And for me, I had a few nagging injuries. So I took some time away from the heavy barbell stuff to really focus on fixing my infrastructure because doesn't matter how. I was talking to my buddy yesterday. It's like, man, why do I need to deadlift 600 pounds again? Like, I stand in my gym, I look around, I said, there's no podium. There's no, bikini clad dude holding a big check for me, right? Why do I need to pull 600 pounds again and compress my disc, risk a bulge, like, tweak out a hip flexor, shift my hip, do all that shit, then I'm limping, right? Then I can't go for runs. I can't ride the bike. I can't take my kids and walk around the boardwalk and do all that stuff. Makes no sense. So
risk reward.
It makes no sense. Like, does anybody care if I do a perfect 20 rep set with 225 on an RDL? Like, why do I have to conventional pull 600 plus? Does anybody even know or care? Like, how stupid am I? Like, and I think about this, I'll start feeling froggy, right? I'll be like, oh man, I'm feeling good today. And like the weight flies, like boom, 253.
Load it on.
I'm like, oh yeah, like I'll stop at 4 plates. Like I'll stop at 4 plates. And it's like, man, double overhand 4 plates with a little bit of chalk. I'm like, ooh, like that's how I know. If I can double over, like double, full grip, right? Not false grip, not hook grip, but full grip. If I could double overhand 405 with just chalk and no bitch assness, and it moves, I'm like, yeah, this is for me. This is 600 pound day. But if like I got a little bit of grip issue, if I get a little bit of hinge or something, I'm like, you know what? I could probably gut it out. It's not the day. For me, that's my barometer, right? I always said the day I can't pull 500 pounds is probably the day I retire. I move on to like tennis or golf or something like that. Though my back will be way too. Who am I kidding, right? I won't be able to play tennis or golf at all. I'll be sitting in the lazy boy. But anyway, I don't even know where I'm going with this story. But we're talking about summer shredded. Yeah, that's right. So back to summer shredded. February it starts. We start to clean up our diet in February. In March, then we really start to get specific with what we're eating. There's a little bit of room for like, I can have an earned meal. I can eat a little bit excess. We're not like counting calories or doing any of that nonsense. Come to April, we can really tighten things up. Then we have all of like May to just like let that skin kind of shrink wrap. By the time we hit Memorial Day weekend into June, you're not even thinking about weight loss anymore. You're just living your best life. That's what I mean. Like it starts in February. So you're not even thinking about weight loss anymore. You're just living your life. This is the way you eat. It's awesome. But now for everyone watching right now, let's and Lindsay and I, we haven't spoken about any of this stuff. That's why I'm a terrible podcast host. By the way, we never script anything. We just come on here, we answer your question. I'm like, as I'm sitting here, I'm like, what are we going to talk about today? Oh man, I got some great, questions coming in organically about like, man, is it too late for like, because of the post yesterday, people were like, is it too late? Is it too late? I'm like, too late for what? To be healthier, to feel better, to not have, explosive diarrhea or horrible constipation? Is it too late to not start feeling better, looking better, start exercising more? Oh, hell no. Is it too late to not look good this weekend? No. So Lindsay, what would you do if someone said, hey, listen, regardless of where they're starting, maybe they're 4 pounds over their best or they're 40 pounds over their best, they got something coming up this weekend. What are your 3 go-to tighten up, turn heads at the pool come Saturday tips?
Okay. Only 3?
Well, let's start like, what are your top? We'll start with 3. What are your 3? And then I'll throw my 3 in there. They might be similar. They might be totally different. So,
all right. So we're going to start with water. We're going to flush. You're just going to flush it out.
Yep.
Most people don't drink enough water. So if you're somebody who's in that boat, start drinking at least a gallon of water a day. So start there. Okay. Making sure that we're flushing everything out. If you increase your water intake for a few days, I guarantee people will drop a few pounds, depending on your body, depending on your inflammation coming into it. But you could drop weight, after a bad weekend, maybe you're a little dehydrated, high sodium, maybe you drank a little bit. You could lose, like, again, depending on body weight, 5 to 10 pounds just by flushing your system out with a bunch of water. People kind of think like, oh, if I drink too much water, I'm going to hold on to that weight, where it actually works in opposition. Like you need to flush the system out with water. So that would be number 1. Get the water. Get the gallon. I'm only on the liter gang today. I'm slacking.
I
am a little easier to drink out of. But,
okay, I get you.
Number 2 would be hit the gym. So get in some resistance training, some cardio to go along with that. We'll stick in this exercise category. Start going for your fasted morning walks. Okay, so if you only have a week to do it, make sure you hit it every day. Okay, that's 5 walks for a half hour. That's only a couple hours total time. And then number 3, we'll go diet. So if I wanted to look, if you wanted to get a little bit toned up, a little bit more shredded by the weekend, I would focus on 2 things, carbohydrates and sodium. So 1, carbohydrates, I would eliminate any inflammatory carbohydrates. So what I mean by that is like refined garbage carbohydrates. So bad bread products, cookies, stuff like that. Eliminate that right off the bat. So focusing in on getting the bulk of your carbohydrates from fruits and vegetables. Yes, you can have potatoes. Like people are like, oh my gosh, I can't eat potatoes, but whatever. So focusing on getting the bulk of your total carbohydrate intake for the day from fruits and vegetables. Okay, that's going to help with a little bit with the inflammation and holding on to excess water weight. And then the sodium part, try to cut, I don't say cut sodium by any means, but drop it just a little bit because that will help us maintain our sodium and water balance to flush out a little bit of extra water that we might be holding on to. People don't realize we're like mostly water. Our bodies are mostly water. So if we can manipulate that a little bit, it's almost like you're doing a mini weight cut. So those are the major things that you focus on in a weight cut. So those are my things. Drink more water, hit the gym, get your fasted cardio in, keep an eye on what types of carbohydrates you're eating and how much sodium you're putting on your food.
Okay. So drink more water, daily exercise, and sodium.
Yeah. And the carbs.
Sodium and carbs for the holding of water. I love that. All right. So now let's build this together. So drink more water, 100%. Drink more water exclusive of drinking anything else outside of fresh brewed tea and black coffee. So now everyone listening, guys and gals, pay attention right now. Lindsay and I are giving you a masterclass cheat sheet, truly. I'm like, no joke right now. We're going to build this for you right now in real time. So just listen to way 2 black belts actually work. Drink more water, exclusive of black tea or black coffee and green tea. I don't want to hear about your creamers. I don't want to hear about your sweeteners. You want to be smoking ass hot come Saturday, right? 10, 15 pound weight loss is actually very easy for the person who has that weight to shift. I can shift that weight in a single day. We've done it before. You want to be smoking ass hot in your little bikini, whatever, or board shorts come the weekend. Please pay attention and also jumpstart into the next phase of your life. Water intake, 100% agree. No alcohol, no Gatorade, no Powerade, no sports drink, no Monster, no garbage. Fuck, no garbage, right? Why is that? Well, because of the digestive inflammation that will result as you are consuming these synthetic toxic chemicals and these inflammatory agents. The inflammation will start in the digestive system and it will spread out to your fucking skin, bags under the eyes, heavy jowls, just like soft, right? This is a fact.
Squishy.
You'll be squishy. Ew, squishy. So when you put on your little G-string, that string is going to indent, right? And now you're going to have that flab that hangs over the fucking top. That's fact. So exclusive of that. Normalize your eating program. I say 4 meals per day. 4 meals per day. If you eat any less, you'll likely be underfed and you'll get that stringy, flabby look. If you eat too more, it's too much insulin, too much feeding, and possibly too much food. We want to eat baseline calories, and I say 4 meals about the same size, spread out evenly, so we reduce metabolic variability. What does that mean? The roller coaster of, I got a full tummy, now I'm super starving. We want even intervals of food spread throughout the day so your tummy, your waistline can shrink down. Also, there's reduction of inflammation. You dump too much food into your digestive system, your body cannot handle it. What happens? Inflammation. You trigger inflammation. Very easy to digest foods, very simple foods, very clean foods, but don't starve yourself. Eat well. Like eat wild caught salmon, jasmine white rice, quinoa, blueberries, strawberries, like, you know, a little bit of Greek yogurt. I don't care. Like all that stuff is great. Any like living lean recipe, cookbook type of meals are perfect. Follow our 3 weeks to shredded program. Click the link below, 25% discount if you want that GPS set out for you. But just listen right now. 4 simple meals spread evenly throughout the day, reduce metabolic variability, right? With that, we have very simple consistency. Now the body's moving forward. But as Lindsay said, we're kind of tapering down those carbohydrates, keeping them a little bit lower, not zero carbs, lower total carb intake, zero processed carb intake. I like to shift away from complex carbs as the day goes on and get more simple carbohydrates, really from fresh fruit. I love melon. I love watermelon. I love cantaloupe. I love honeydew. I love raspberries, blueberries, strawberries, blackberries. I love that type of carbohydrate intake. Why is that? Because it is very targeted and it's short lasting, which means a cup of blueberries, well, that's going to probably give me maybe 30 to 180 minutes of usable energy. And it really hits my bloodstream. It's less likely to be stored because I'm actively going to be using it if I'm getting close to my mean level of carbohydrate need, of glycogen need, or glucose need, right? Take it further, right? So this is what we do with our athletes. That's why we wind up feeding our athletes like 8 times a day as they're cutting weight. And we're just dropping very strategic glucose bombs from fresh fruit into their body to give them enough energy to get through the next 90 minutes. And they're like, oh man, I feel fucking great. I started to tank out, get a little tired, little bit of blueberry, and sometimes, don't tell anybody, chocolate covered strawberries and espresso during a hard weight cut is a fucking godsend, by the way. All right. So now we got the food covered. We got the fluid covered. We want to start passive weight loss. What does that mean? We want to start losing water passively. If we work out too hard, well, now we're going to create a bit of a deficit and we need to refill, refeed, but we're walking that fine line between our baseline calorie intake. We're getting that one good workout per day. You're getting the cardio in the morning or so. We're hitting that list. We're getting a little bit of a pump and fluff workout a little bit later, but shorter, 20 to 40 minutes maximum. Flex and squeeze style of workout. You can go a little heavier, but if you're going heavy, I'm sorry?
Higher reps.
Higher rep
pump.
I agree 100%. We want to get good blood flow into those muscles, fill them out, round them out. Like ladies, like you want to have that, pardon my French, you want to have that nice round ass, like that good shape to your thighs. Guys are looking more for like the wider shoulders and kind of the billowing biceps. You got to pump those things up. If you don't train them, what happens, because we're depleting glycogen, they all shrink down and get a little flaccid. You want those muscles to be really round. Like we peak people for photo shoots. We want to fill this stuff up. So you have to get that type of workout in. And it's best once you hit that style of workout, that's where your biggest carb dump should probably be, right? Post, and I intentionally say it's more of a pump and fluff workout, because we're peaking for a photo shoot or a beach event on the weekend. It's not like we're in week 3 of a 12-week peaking program to get ready for the Olympic trials. No, it's a different training. We're just we just want to be hot, right?
For like a day.
We're just being hot for a day, right? So hot for a day. All right, so we got that in. Now, passive water loss, hot tub. You have access to a hot tub? Get in the hot tub for 30, 45 minutes and chill. Sip water the entire time. What Lindsay said, water intake. Sip that water the entire time while you're in the hot tub, flushing your body. Now, here's the thing. I want to do the hot tub later on at night before bed. I'm going to get in the hot tub 30 to 45 minutes. I'm going to get a good pouring sweat, purify my system, release this water, and then I'm going to freeze down in a cold shower or cold plunge. If you have like a little hot tub and then you have a pool next to it, simplest thing, hop out of the hot tub, jump in the pool, and just hang out there almost until the point that you get the shivers a little bit. Like you can go from a 105-degree hot tub into an 85-degree pool and get a bit of the shivers. If you can get even colder, awesome. From that point, go to bed. Now you've reduced total body inflammation. You will wake up the next day looking smoking hot. because your skin starts to shrink wrap around those now pump and fluff muscles. The tummy is smaller, increasingly smaller, because we're not throwing all the inflammatory foods, synthetic toxic chemicals, processed foods in there. We're eating relatively small meals spread evenly throughout the day, keeping our energy up, not over consuming complex carbohydrates, which may have a tendency to spill over, attract more water. And from there, you're done. You don't have to. Now, are there any supplements that you can take? Well, technically, yes, but these are over-the-counter herbal supplements, something like a dandelion root, like 1,500 milligrams of dandelion root taken 1, 2, or 3 times a day, depending on tolerance, works extremely well over a 3 to 5 day period. Like additional vitamin C intake, some of you who follow our 3 Weeks to Shredded program, you will see a staging criteria that we don't tell you to take it, but hey, here's what some of our athletes take. And we show you the 5-day protocol of the herbal supplements, one of which is a dandelion root. And some people, it's like, hey, 500 milligrams day 1, 1,000 milligrams day 2, 1,500 milligrams day 3, 2,000 day 4, 2,500 day 5. Scale, 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 scale. As your water intake stays static, you'll see that water start to jump off your body and will increase vitamin C intake. Like 1,000 milligrams, or like 1 gram, 2 gram, 3 gram, 4 gram, 5 gram. On the way up, the water jumps out of your body. So I got to take this off the screen. Sorry. I forgot that was even up there. Apologies for that, guys. As I'm there talking. Oops, take that off. All right. I think that's it. So to take it very simple, I don't want to get over. I mean, I know we've gone kind of long on this, but that was the point of the video, to really share this information. If you guys go back to minute 42, really, Lindsay's tips start at minute 47. So about 14 minutes or so of Lindsay and I giving you the exact protocol. If you follow this, man, your weekend is going to be smoking hot. You'll probably be anywhere between 4 and 14 pounds lighter, depending on how much weight you can shift. Now, some of that weight will come back up, but if you wake up Sunday and you stay on, and you keep going every week, now you're going to really start to mobilize body fat. Now, during this five-day period of time, it's very likely you can lose anywhere between 0.5 pound and 3 pounds of real body fat, not just water weight. So we're shifting water weight for sure. We're tightening up the skin for sure. Reducing total body inflammation for sure. Improving digestive efficiency, reducing or eliminating impacted food matter. All this adds up. But now we're actually starting to lose real body fat. And then you move on to week 2. And let's say we have a 2-pound average, which is a little underperforming, I would say, on our program, but overperforming on almost every other program. Mm-hmm. Like I'd say, like, what, 2 to 3 pounds would kind of be the average estimate, right? That's the safe recommendation, 2 to 3 pounds. So let's say a 2-pound average of pure fat loss. So we've all seen the picture of body fat next to muscle mass. It's kind of like almost like that, right? Very similar, where this is body fat, this is muscle mass, like 5 pounds of body fat, 5 pounds of muscle. From a mass perspective, it's almost similar enough to that. Well, now come week 2, you can lose another, let's say 2 pounds of body fat. Week 3, another 2 pounds. That becomes freaking dramatic. Yep. Like that becomes dramatic because, man, body fat takes up a hell of a lot of space. So as that starts to come off, now, all of a sudden, we're just in June. Come July 4th, this is June 7th. July 4th is about 4 weeks away, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks away is July 4th weekend. Super easy for you to lose 10, 12 pounds of pure body fat and another 10, 12 pounds of fluid. You could easily be down 20 pounds or more in just a month. This is how this stuff stacks up and adds up. And a gentleman, Lars, who might be a pro wrestler, on the post I put today. Actually, let me throw that up there real quick. And to stream here, let me just show you what he said. And let me share my answer. And then I'll kind of kick this back to Lindsay to answer some clothing thoughts. Did he actually deleted? Son of a bitch. Probably because my answer was so good. Oh, wait, no. I think it was a different one right here. Okay. Sorry, Lars. So here's what he says. 12 weeks, 4 weeks. How about a lifetime? I want something sustainable. And here's what I said. Let me read this out, then we'll move on. I said, we call our plan a Trojan horse to a sustainable lifestyle. Most people allow us in the door for dramatic weight loss and body composition results, right? That's our Trojan horse. People are like, man, I got to lose weight. I want to look better. Hey, 3 weeks to shredding, living lean, the DolceDiet.com. We got you. Lose 21 pounds in 21 days. We got you. That gets us in the door. But the lessons you learn while on the program allow you to lead a life of empowerment through healthy nutrition choices. We literally teach you how to now move forward for the rest of your life. And remember, back in the early 2000s, I personally lost over 110 pounds, 113 pounds, 282 down to 169. I personally lost over 100 pounds after being morbidly obese, well over 30% body fat, diagnosed with a heart arrhythmia, high cholesterol, high triglycerides, and hooked up to a Holter monitor, right? Oh shit, like what's going on with this dude's heart? EKG, ECG, the whole fucking battery of tests in my mid-20s. Scary stuff. After being morbidly obese and diagnosed with a heart arrhythmia, this program, the Living Lean program, was founded in my own journey to lose that 100 plus pounds. So this is the basis for our current program, which of course we've dramatically revolutionized since then. We have so much data over the last 20 or so years. Not only have I personally kept the weight off, I've dramatically improved my own health, added decades of vibrant utility to the second half of my life. I have a 0 cardiac calcium score. It's a CAC score, as some of you who do know, like perfect, right? I have no calcification inside my arterial walls, where I was fucking, in my mid-20s, I was slamming into a brick wall of just a terrible life outcome. Improve my health, decades to the utility, and I walk around at my ideal body fat, body size, 365 days a year. Give it a try. Let me know. So I just say that to show that what we share, that's what this stuff is. Like, that's our program. Yeah, the world's greatest athletes use it. That's awesome. Sports Illustrated models use it to get ready, photo shoot ready. Yep, that's awesome. And it freaking works. That's not why we do it. We do it so you can freaking live an amazing, kick-ass life for decades and decades and decades to come, following the exact same principles that Lindsay and I are sharing with you right now. So I get a little bit, verbose and passionate about this stuff, but I wanted to share you all the context. Lindsay, you have anything else to add on this?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I said before. It's a full-time job. Like, it's the reason why you called it living lean, because it's not, oh, we're going to live lean for 4 weeks, or we're going to live lean for 12 weeks. You're going to live lean for your life, following those principles. Like, and I understand we just talked about what you could do, like, last minute in a 1 week period. Like, if you really want to hone in, if you're like a little behind or whatever, that's fine. But like you said, summer starts in February. Summer starts the summer before. Yep. Like, it just doesn't stop. So I think a lot of people, two big things. A lot of people get into that kind of mentality where it's like bulking season and shredding season. Yep. And during the winter, they just eat whatever they want. Their garbage goes to, or their diet goes to shit. And it's just, oh, we're just gonna lift and eat. We're gonna lift and eat. And it's not the full package. So it's you have to kind of get away from the traditional mentality of like bulking season means you could eat whatever you want to eat. The focus here is nutrition. Like, nutrition is not just for weight loss, but it's for health. So the nutrients we get from food, we need them. They're called essential nutrients. So it's more so the health perspective. And yeah, you're probably going to look better in the process, but you want to be healthy. You want to live a sustainable life, moving forward. I was going to say one more thing and now I'm forgetting. I don't know. I'll think of it.
We're going to say if people want a free 15-ounce awesome Dolce Coffee Roasters mug, to text 732-487-3445. Text the word coffee, and we will hook you up with a free, awesome freaking mug. And this is the way I drink coffee. Is that weird? Typically, it's just like the curve feels so freaking cool.
I like the warmth on my hand. I'm not a hold handle person.
Virtual high five. Bam. Exactly. I love the warmth. Like, oh my God, I just love it. It makes me feel like I'm cared for.
It's not just a drink. It's like an experience.
It is. And it's a friend.
It's like, sound like addicts.
Yeah, we are, though, by the way.
We are addicts.
Wait, why did I start at my own coffee company? So I had access to all this coffee. I could stand there and watch it being roasted and just like breathe it in. It's a little creepy. You know, our roast master's like, okay.
It's like, I'm working with the right guy.
It's so funny. Adam says, I used to be a bodybuilder. This actually sounds like a better diet than a bodybuilder one. Absolutely. We have bodybuilders. We have classic competitors. We have bikini figure. A lot of the ladies absolutely love it because they have such metabolic distress going through these horrible tilapia, asparagus. Man, I had two beautiful women, high-level competitors. They're rather famous, actually. I don't want to say their name because it was confided privately. They were getting ready for a physique competition at the same time, and they hired one of these idiot prep coaches who had them eating dry oatmeal 6 weeks out from competition because, hey, you can't drink too much water. 6 weeks out from competition. They were spooning dry oatmeal. I was like, dude, he's trolling you. They're like, no way, this, that, and the other thing. Of course, it's like, you know, he was a drug coach. It's like you got to take, 2.5 mgs of Anivore, and then we're going to scale that up and like, and they're trying to like get them to like take all these like, get them on cleanse, like fucking wreck their physiques. Yeah. And then they came to us, they're like, we can't do it. They came to us, we put them on a hybrid 3 weeks of shredded program. Looked so fucking healthy. They were like crying because they're like, I can't
awesome.
eat this. I can eat rice. Like, but I'll be fat. Like, who the fuck told you this? Yeah. How do you feel in the gym? They're like, horrible. We can't even work out. I'm like, okay. Like, eat rice, work out hard. Boom. Like, how's your body look? They're like, I look like horrible, like a cardio bunny, right? Where everything just shuts down. They're like, we look like gorgeous in the off season. In the middle of their prep, they were like these ladies were having body dysmorphia. That stuff gets me super angry. All these idiot drug dealer, bodybuilder, prep coaches out there who know nothing about nutrition, but they call themselves nutrition coaches, right?
Mm-hmm. It is crazy. I mean, we talked last week about like weight cutting in youth sports and how that develops horrible nutrition habits and, weight issues and things like that, eating disorders. But same thing for physique competitors, especially the females. Well, the guys too, because we don't really talk about it as much, but you see these people, they're like post a picture and they're like, oh, I got third place. I was happy. It's not what we wanted. And then it's like 35 minutes after they step off stage, there's like a whole pizza and like a stack of pancakes and something else because they were so restrictive during their prep that and then they continue on doing that for weeks and weeks and weeks. That will wreck your metabolism, like wreck it. So 1 or 2 days after the competition, going that far off the deep end, you see it with fighters too. Like they go out and celebrate and then they just fall off and blow up and then they have to start back over again. Yep. So you have to get a little bit more fine-tuned, I think, rather than these huge peaks and valleys of being super, super restrictive and I wouldn't even call it nutritious, but paying more attention to nutrition and then just completely going off the deep end. So keeping it a little bit more here rather than here.
And it's part of what we say is you build that baseline, you eliminate metabolic variability. So if a lot of the consultations that we do, the first question or one of the first recommendations is, hey, we need to build a baseline. They're like, oh, what should I do? How many calories should I eat? How many carbs should I eat? Am I eating enough protein? Should I have 1.2 grams or 1.3 grams of protein per day? And I'm like, listen, you're 60 plus pounds overweight and your blood panel is horrific. Like, forget about that shit right now. Stop. Like, just stop. Forget everything you ever heard. And all I want you to do is, I say, pick 2 breakfasts, 2 lunches, and 3 dinners that you actually enjoy. Let's cut out all the garbage, if there's any garbage associated with it, or whole foods, and let's spread this 4 times throughout the day. And this is my go-to for almost everyone. If you do a consultation with me, let's say you don't really, you're trying to find your way back to health. It's like, hey, you don't have to like buy anything. Let's just get this down. Let's get 4 feedings per day, 4 meals, 4 snacks. I don't care what you call them. 4 caloric ingestions per day to build a baseline. Well, what about, and Ryan, our eyes to see, I see your question about OMAD. We're going to talk about OMAD and fasting here in a minute. Like, oh, should I just do one man? Should I do an alternate day fasting protocol? Or Mark Sisson's talking about 2 meals a day. Rogan's doing this keto carnivore kind of hybrid thing. Should I do like a slim fast or that MLM, the marketing thing? I forget what that company is. Like, what should I do? I'm like, listen, pick a couple meals that you really enjoy, and let's just eat those and alternate them. I'll eat the breakfast bowl. I'll eat the breakfast bowl 5 days in a row and look forward to it every morning. I'll eat basically the same egg meal every single day. Maybe I'll make an omelet, maybe a scramble. Like, it's pretty much the same thing, but I eat it like when I'm trying to like get myself straight. I eat the same thing, like recipe A or recipe B, at about the same time, at about the same size, spread evenly throughout the day. 4 basic meals spread about, 3-4 hours apart. I eat over, usually for me, it's around, about 11 hours, so 13 hours not eating, about 11-hour period that I'm feeding. And my body changes. My digestion changes. I'm like, wow, I feel so much better. Usually I lose a couple pounds, right? It's like, wow. Mm-hmm. I'm reducing the peaks and valleys of, man, I had breakfast today. I skipped it yesterday. I went out to breakfast and I got the bagel and the toast and the sandwich on this day. I had pasta for dinner, one night at the restaurant, but I had a salad the next night here. The metabolic variability. There's no baseline. We can make zero informed choices. We cannot curate results at this point. Let's just step back for a minute. Yeah. And let's just build a baseline right now.
Right.
And Lindsay made a great point about nutrients. I got to make sure I'm getting all the nutrition I need. So with this, Lindsay, Eyes to See has a question. Lindsay, can you answer my question? What do you think about OMAD, 1 meal per day?
I think it's stupid. That's what I think.
Oh, fair enough. Next question.
No, I mean, okay, so I was actually watching, it's funny that you were just talking about that stuff. So I was watching an old, I think it was like 3 or 4 years old, one of Andy Galpin's YouTube videos.
Yep.
And he was pretty much saying that everybody starts wrong, which we've talked about before, but everybody starts a diet in the wrong way. It starts with elimination. Whereas he pretty much said you should start with the addition of nutrients that you're lacking. So you go get your blood work, like you're a little bit deficient in zinc and vitamin C or whatever it may be. So start supplementing foods that contain those nutrients. And right off the bat, you're going to feel so much better. Yep. So you're already swapping out. So like, say, the bagel for breakfast, we're going to swap that out. We're going to have a serving of fruit or whatever. So right off the bat, you start to feel better, which sort of helps you continue along that path rather than first like making a list of like, well, I'm not allowed to have this, and this. So in your mind, it's just this negative experience where the mindset should shift to like, okay, here's what I'm going to supplement my diet with. Or like, wow, I haven't had a vegetable in 2 weeks. So I'm going to start eating 2 servings of vegetables a day. So it's like starting kind of backwards from the normal diet mentality.
Yeah.
Other thing he mentioned is about how many meals per day. So coming back to this question, but how many meals per day and like meal timing, and that it should be essentially suit your personality and your life and your schedule and all that stuff. So 1 meal a day from a digestive biochemistry perspective, I don't think it's good. So if you're trying to fit, say you eat 2,500 calories a day into 1 meal, and we've hammered this point home almost every week, that's like your entire dinner table filled with plates of food. Yeah. Like who could possibly ingest that much food at one time? Yeah. The other thing is you can't digest it all. That's so much food. It takes a very long time for even just the contents of your stomach to empty into your small intestine. So from that perspective, I don't think it's practical to, even if you follow a pristine diet, eating the best foods, highest quality, high nutrient foods, I just don't think it's practical to consume all of it at one point in the day. And then we add in the exercise factor. So are we exercising in the morning? Do we eat this meal at night? Do we eat this meal in the morning and then we're going to exercise at night? So at some point you're going to be deficient or feeling hungry and all that stuff. So I don't think 1 meal a day is a practical thing for somebody to follow for days at a time at all.
Yeah, I agree. And I'll add a real world example is the Islamic world just observed Ramadan.
Mhm.
And during Ramadan, those who follow the Islamic teachings, they do not eat during the day. They fast all day long.
Yep.
They eat after sunset until just before sunrise. And we work with quite a few of them, some of which are very well-known athletes or, entertainers. And some are just, regular folks, just like, you and I, just regular folks doing our jobs and whatnot. And every single one of them has a dramatic reduction in energy. It's very challenging for them to just participate in the normal action of life. Khabib Nurmagomedov, arguably the greatest UFC lightweight champion in the history of the sport, undefeated, would not take fights for months after Ramadan because it took time for his body to adjust back to training. He could barely train. So Lindsay did a great job talking about the biochemistry and the digestion and the physiology. Let's take that aside. And now let's just say from a real world application, Ramadan allows you to eat more than one meal a day. You can eat as many as you want. But that extended fasting period during a time where in most, around the world, it's longer sunlight hours than sunset hours, let's say. So just with that alone, will you survive? The human can survive almost anything. They say that you can go, 2 minutes without oxygen, 2 days without water, and over 2 weeks without food. So we can go without food for a very long period of time, and the body has an amazing capacity to survive. That does not mean it's healthy, and that does not mean it's ideal. We want to speak to the ideal. And individuals out there, I won't say their names right now, and what they say about me when I say, hey, that's not best, it's not ideal. They're slamming, they're throwing their keto stuff out there, their fasting stuff out there. They're like, well, Dolce works with elite athletes, so he looks at it from the lens of someone who looks at elite athletes. And yeah, maybe keto isn't great for elite athletes. Maybe fasting isn't great for elite athletes. I said, no, I don't. I work with a handful. We work with a handful of elite athletes. We work with thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. We speak to millions of regular folks who are not elite athletes. This is the info. We work with humans. From a human perspective, all humans should be able to express their utmost athleticism. The higher level of their athleticism. I used to say my grandma Rhoda at 89 years old had the exact same grocery list as Ronda Rousey at 29 years old. Their training was slightly different, meal timing slightly different. It was the same damn grocery list, right? Grams was eating, 4 to 5 times per day. Ronda was eating 5 to 6 times per day. Like all that stuff was there. So Grams wasn't getting ready for the UFC 5-round fight. Ronda was. The protocol was not that different. Now, does that mean should I skip a meal? Hey, man, yeah, that works. On our 3 weeks to shredded program, we have a few 1 to 3 modified fasts built in. You skip a breakfast, maybe a lunch. That simply allows for a digestive cleansing because usually you're eating 4, 5, 6 meals a day, and usually the modified fast comes after one of the higher food intake refeeds. Higher carb intake, or the protein parties, we call it high protein intake from a grass-fed steak. So we'll build in a modified refeed, which simply allows the digestive clearing, right? So to Lindsay's point earlier about, for me, and I just went through the 72-hour 0-calorie fast. I went from Monday night 6 p.m. until 6:30 Thursday night, and the first thing I broke the fast with bone broth. I had no energy. I couldn't even play hide and seek with my 4-year-old, for real. Come Thursday, I couldn't play hide and seek with my daughter. I was that shot. I was starting to get a little bit dizzy. Like my body was having an adverse reaction to the no food thing. I didn't die. And I will say, bowel movements, not good, not healthy. Like we pride ourselves here on the coveted one wiper, not to get too crass, but it's like, man, your bowel movement is indicative of your level of health.
Definitely.
Like, how regular are you? What is the consistency? About the same size at about the same time? Man, it looks like like ideally, it looks like just like pine needles and spinach casing, just kind of effortlessly falling out. You slide the little baby wipe across there, and there's nothing showing. There's almost no residual effects showing the coveted one wiper. Well, that's kind of ideal. And a lot of those who in our community, they laugh because that's what they eventually experience when they're truly compliant. They have one off meal and it's a mess. It's like salt, right? It's just a horrible, horrible environment. Well, this is something to be aware of. Now, back to the OMAD thing. I think there's, what's the kid's name? The death fast kid, the snake diet kid.
Oh, yeah.
Cole Ryan. I don't know the kid. And maybe he believes what he's saying, maybe not. But he's telling people to do these death fasts. These 3-4 day or more, you don't drink any water, you don't eat any food, the death fast to lose weight. Well, that's senseless. It makes no sense. Like you could come over, I'm sure come day 2, I could walk over, like twap him in the head, and what can you do about it? Well, you can't even stand up without passing out, bro. What are you going to do? You're not lifting for real. You're not, oh, you got to buy his snake juice. It's a marketing scheme. I'm not mad at him because there's hundreds or thousands of other better educated individuals doing it. Now, the one thing that was interesting is a lot of Dr. Jason Fung's work, and I'll finish with this. I went down the Jason Fung rabbit hole. Now I've probably consumed about 50 hours or so of content from Dr. Fung, a couple hours a day I've been doing. A lot of interesting stuff out there. But I've also noticed a lot of contradiction in the science, not in Dr. Fung. I think Jason's actually a really good guy but he's in the Dr. Eric Berg, the Dr. Oz, the Dr. Phil, the Athlean X, Jeff Cavalier rabbit hole now, or pigeonholed, because now he has to keep throwing out new content, right? And it's harder. So what he was talking about, autophagy, and this is something that we'll do a deeper video on. He was talking about autophagy, and he's saying, hey, listen, we actually don't even know what really stimulates autophagy. Mm-hmm. We actually don't truly know what does it. But he said, but I will tell you, autophagy usually doesn't kick in until day 4, usually day 5 of a zero food fast. He said, we know that insulin will kick you out of autophagy or inhibit your ability to initiate autophagy. And everyone's like, I fast, I'm on a 16-8 fast, hashtag autophagy. That doesn't work, dickhead. It doesn't fucking work. Fung and some people are like, oh man, I fast, I got a bone broth fast. Well, Dr. Fung says protein will inhibit autophagy. If you're consuming protein, bone broth is protein, it's collagen protein. If you have a little sip of bone broth, boom, no autophagy for you. He also says caffeine most likely inhibits autophagy. Most people go on their fasts and they drink coffee to get through their fasts, thinking hashtag autophagy. This is from the fasting guy. So people don't talk about that. They conflate all this information. Now, the 1 meal a day, hey, 1 meal a day. All right, what's your point? Just severe caloric restriction, as my buddy Alan Roberts said years ago, and I gave him credit for it. Fasting is simply for people who don't have the willpower to control their feeding throughout the day. Mm-hmm. It gives them the ability to cut 80% of their meals, and most likely they wind up running closer to a caloric deficit simply because they can't eat all of those calories in one single sitting. And if that's the way you do it, hey, fine. You found out a way to hack your own lack of discipline. Alan says it a lot more profane than I'm saying it right now. But when we look at like a guy like Dr. Fung, who's a nephrologist and highly credentialed and highly respected, and he's the one saying like, hey, like autophagy is not what everyone says it is and thinks it is. It really doesn't even happen until like day 5 of a prolonged fast, taking in 0 nutrients, not even coffee.
Right.
And I know Dr. Patrick had kind of said something similar to that about insulin and maybe caffeine down the road. So that's kind of where I'll put this information. I know, again, we're a little long, but I think this is very interesting because I've gone through these multi-day fasts now myself, and I could speak to it. And I felt horrible. I feel horrible. And I probably know more than the average person. I have a lifestyle that I can do whatever I want. I don't have to go to a job. I got an amazing wife and Brandy who can, like I said, this is not for parents, not for single parents. You can't be a good parent and be on a prolonged fast. It's not possible. I found myself on day 3 standing in my kitchen, like
wobbling in your kitchen.
Literally, like Lindsay, I was like, what the fuck am I here for? I remember being like, why did I just come? Like, literally, why did I just come into the kitchen? Like, I better go sit down. And that's when I was like, man, like, and Brandy's in the house and the whole thing. I was like, this is, and I knew, like, because I'm a dad before anything else, this is not good for a parent. I couldn't, and I was finding myself, I was less able to engage in a high level manner with my children just because I didn't have the cognitive power to do so. Right. So these are, I'm kind of speaking more on the anecdotal side, first person side, to what Lindsay talked more about the scientific side.
Yeah, it's funny, like jumping a little bit back to the autophagy, it's funny to see people jump on this like cool thing that they talked about on the news or whatever. Like essentially the science behind it, or just very, very briefly here, is like you're supposed to like flush or eliminate your dead cells or your not working cells. That's what autophagy is. But if you're not following like a healthy lifestyle to begin with, who cares if you eliminated some healthy or some dead or unhealthy cells? Yeah. Who, like, is that really doing that much for your health and well-being or the longevity of your life? How about you stop smoking? Or how about you start exercising? So it's just funny, like people jump on like these like hacks rather than actually adopting a lifestyle. So like, oh, I'm going to fast for a day and I'm going to just cleanse my body of these cells. So it's just funny. Like, and you see the people that are like, I'm going to do a 3-day juice cleanse to flush my body of the toxins. Like, well, do you have kidneys? Do you have kidneys? Because that's what they do. They're already doing that for you. It's just funny. People look for quick fixes and things that sound cool rather than actually doing the hard work and having the discipline to do the hard work. So it's just, you just have to laugh.
I agree. I agree 100%. Now I want to jump on. Henrik actually has an interesting question here that he says, do you guys think people are too fast to jump onto TRT replacement instead of doing anything they can do to get their testosterone up naturally? And let me jump in. Absolutely. Yeah. TRT is so widespread right now that there's 20 some odd year olds jumping onto TRT and getting prescribed. So TRT is testosterone replacement therapy, which is a subcategory in the hormone replacement therapy group. Now, hormone replacement therapy has been normalized for decades with estrogen, right? For ladies possibly going through menopause, you saw it HRT out there. That was HRT. For ladies going through menopause, estrogen starts to drop. They get estrogen replacement therapy. In time, guys were like, hey, as we age, our testosterone starts to drop too. And that was considered maybe a class 3. It was considered a prohibited substance, and doctors were not able to prescribe it to nearly the level that they do now. But maybe about a decade or so ago, a little bit more, it started to happen. And I actually have a great story I can't tell right now about TRT in the world of MMA and the athlete who was the catalyst for TRT and MMA. So interesting story. We'll talk about that later. I got to figure out the way to say it legally. I got to be careful here. But so TRT, yes. Now I will say also, we could say HRT, hormone replacement therapy. Well, insulin, right? I would consider insulin to be a part of an HRT protocol. Mm-hmm. So we have insulin, which, okay, that's much more obvious because you can literally die in a day in a meal, right? We have estrogen replacement therapy, which I know ladies who actually have gone through it, and I've seen mixed responses, right? It takes a while sometimes to find what that dose is. Mm-hmm. Guys, like guys with the TRT. Now, there's a lot of information out there that's conflicting, but the more information that comes out, the better. It appears that TRT therapy that is adequately prescribed has a life extension benefit to it. if it is not super physiological doses of TRT. And most of the TRT minded guys out there, they're taking 200, 300, 400 milligrams of testosterone per week. Well, that is super physiological. They say a true TRT dose would probably be somewhere closer to about 60 milligrams to maybe 120 milligrams per week. And that, testosterone is actually released daily in a pulsatile fashion where your pulse maybe, 6 to 10 milligrams of testosterone per day, averaged out and equated throughout the day in general, the average male. So to go to the high end of that range, well, let's say it's 120 milligrams per day. I think that's kind of what the consensus is out there. So now I'll clean this up, let Lindsay jump back in. Is it overprescribed? Yes. Do guys jump on too soon? Yes. Is there things that you can do to dramatically improve your own testosterone levels? Absolutely. Lindsay, do you want to jump in and maybe share what those might be?
Yeah, so I completely agree. I think it goes beyond hormone replacement therapy. I think it goes for anything pharmaceutical. Is doctors or endocrinologists, whoever you're seeing, overprescribe, definitely, without trying to fix what the actual issue is. Now, I do think there's absolutely a place for hormone replacement therapy. I have multiple clients that are males and females that are on hormone replacement therapy for good reason. So hormones are one of the most tricky, probably the most complicated and tricky part of human physiology, because literally your mind can affect hormones. Your stress level can affect hormones. So it's hard to pinpoint reasons why people have issues, whether it's, females with estrogen or males with testosterone. But lean body mass, 100%. So upping your lean body mass, reducing your total body mass if it's of an unhealthy proportion. So if you have a high body fat percentage, reducing that body weight, making sure that we're sleeping. So everything gets regulated while we're sleeping. Everything kind of comes down. You're in this, semi-vegetative state, but those are the major things that you could do. Controlling stress is one of the major things that anybody can do to regulate all hormones. Which is, it looks different for everybody. Yep. So some people have a really hard time doing that. Some people have no stress at all. Must be nice.
Must be nice.
But no, I definitely think things are overprescribed. And I think I'll call it lazy. I think it's lazy of certain physicians to just be like, oh, we don't really want to figure out why you're experiencing that. So here's your prescription. See you next time. We'll do your blood work in a couple weeks. So not everybody's in that category, but I do think that for a lot of different health issues that can be fixed with lifestyle nutrition things, they're just slapping a Band-Aid on a problem.
I agree. And if anyone's interested in testing your own testosterone levels, your own estrogen levels, you can click the link below. You see the Let's Get Checked logo on this screen. letsgetchecked.com/Dolce. Use promo code Dolce. You'll save between 20 and 40% on in-home blood testing services. This company is absolutely amazing. You go to letsgetchecked.com/Dolce. You pick out, let's say for guys, the male hormone panel. Get the entire male hormone panel so you can get your total test, your free testosterone, I believe your SHBG, and also your estradiol. Get this completely tested. I would also suggest a lipid panel, which I believe is the metabolic panel. Let's see what your cholesterol, your HDL, your LDL is also as a part of that. Go to letsgetchecked.com/Dolce. Promo code Dolce. Once again, take advantage of the savings. Gets mailed to your house within 2 days. It shows up. It's a 2-minute little pinprick. You put it in the vial. You put it back in the box. The UPS man or woman comes back up, picks it up, sends it out to the lab. Usually within 3 days, the results are uploaded to your personal private dashboard, which is on your phone. You get your own dashboard, and then you can send it to your doctor's office. You can share it with your doctor. You can share with Lindsay or myself if you're working with us. You're doing a one-on-one consultation with us. We have this information. A lot of our private clients do this regularly. It's phenomenal. You don't have to get the prescription, the authorization slip. You go sit at your doctor's office. They write the script for you. Then you got to go schedule an appointment with a LabCorp or wherever else. It's such a pain in the ass. And then it takes 2 weeks for those traditional companies. LetsGetChecked.com is awesome. We've been working with them now for almost 2 years. I cannot say enough great things. Go down below. Check the links below. We got some great stuff out there. They are freaking phenomenal. Now, another question here on this TRT thing. Barry Jones, it sounds funny. It sounds funny. But
you're answering this one.
I'll answer this one. Is it true that putting ice on my scrotum 3 times per day improve testicular health, testosterone levels, and sperm quality? Well, those of you who are a fan of Leo and Longevity's page, channel Leo and Longevity, I actually have a regular MMA, I think it's MMA and biohacking segment that I do with Leo that we're getting more regular now. So I've been on there 3 or 4 times, which I really enjoy. Leo also has segments with Derek from More Plates, More Dates, and Vigorous Steve of the Vigorous Steve channel. Both of these, all 3 of these guys are in the research expert side of the fitness equation. And I think they're all doing really good work out there. Now, Vigorous Steve just went through a fatty liver or the fasting, I believe he went through a fasting mimicking diet plan to reduce his fatty liver diagnosis, which is actually very severe. And he came off all drugs. And I followed some of this, but I can't speak to it the way Steve can. I don't have enough knowledge on this topic. So I will defer to Vigorous Steve here. And I think everyone should check him out. But he actually does speak about doing exactly this, that he does ice his scrotum, I believe 3 times or more per day to help elevate his own testosterone. And he's rather data oriented with it. He has a lot of source material to pull from, a lot of evidence-based information that he utilizes as his foundation. And he charts a lot of his own blood work and free testosterone, total free testosterone readings as he goes. There does seem to be benefit to this. And I have seen a lot of this data before over the decades really what the initial fear was do hot tubs negatively impact testosterone, or it's really the sperm utility, the ability for the sperm to swim, not as much as I understand as total number of sperm count may be adversely affected. But what I saw the data was more in line with the sperm that are produced don't swim as strong effectively. So their utility was diminished, making procreation more challenging. Right. So that there is some good data out there that surrounds that. I don't have a lot of more specific information on this, Barry Jones, but I will defer over to Vigorous Steve's channel, and also Leo and Longevity is another one that's in the same vein of what Lindsay and I are doing here. Lindsay, do you have anything on that?
Not on this one.
No, probably a good thing, by the way. But what else do we have? Vivian says, how long does it take to get a consult with Lindsay? You can simply click the link below in the description. Vivian, Lindsay is taking one-on-one consultations, 30-minute consultations, where you can send Lindsay your blood work. You can send her all the information that you have. If you have any medical diagnosis, of course, Lindsay is a licensed, registered dietitian. She's able to speak to that for you, and even be a liaison between yourself and your doctor and help answer a lot of the questions and really help you make much more informed decisions. I know a lot of doctors' offices, as great as they are not very good with regards to nutrition. And this is where someone like Lindsay is able to come in, especially with her background in exercise physiology and nutrition. She does an amazing job really helping create the overall lifestyle. And you just click that link below this video in the description. You can click the link below and get a one-on-one with Lindsay. Also, we have people who are working one-on-one with Lindsay right now, where Lindsay can become your personal dietitian, your private dietitian, over a very intensive 8-week relationship where she plans everything for you, every meal, every recipe. You have that one-on-one interaction with Lindsay during the entire 8-week period of time, which is probably the best service that I believe that we offer, the ability to work with Lindsay that intensely. You can share everything about your lifestyle, your background, your medical history, your hopes, your dreams, your goals, like your challenges. It's true. Like, we all need someone in our corner who actually cares but has the expertise, not just some random fitness pro like on the internet who did a bikini competition. You actually get a highly skilled academic who lives the lifestyle, but mostly who cares. You can tell that Lindsay is an amazing human being who's highly knowledgeable. That's all available below, but she does book out. Like, obviously there's only so many that she can take on. So if you're interested, I strongly suggest you click on that link, you get signed up, and then one of our team members will jump in and help you get set up, and Lindsay will take it from there. So that's all available if you want to mention anything on that, Lindsay.
No, I mean, like, speaking specifically to your question, like if I get the email that you scheduled a 30-minute consult, it's a few days later we're talking on the phone. I'd like to. It's weird, like the whole pandemic has introduced us to this new world of being comfortable with doing Zoom and things like that. Yeah. Although we've had Skype for forever, but it kind of went away. So it's really nice to connect. Because I'm never near or in person with any of my clients. So it's really nice to be able to connect on Zoom or FaceTime or whatever it may be. But no, I mean, a couple days later, we're either making a plan for the next 8 weeks, or I'm answering your questions and giving you support and a plan to move forward, in like a 30-minute consult. So, yeah, for sure. It's a good time. I enjoy getting to know all of my clients. And as I say to them, the more you text me, if you want to send me a picture of your workout, if you want to send me a picture of the meal that you made, that's awesome. I would rather have more communication than less communication. So if you want to call me, if you have a question, or, talk face to face, more communication is always the best. So.
And I will say that really makes you stand out, Lindsay. That's such an added benefit, because most of the online gurus, the bodybuilding prep coaches, they send you a cookie cutter template program that they send
put them on their way,
and poof, out of here. They send that to you, that they send to every other person within 20 pounds of your body weight. And then you text them, they don't text you back. They charge you to actually respond to text messages, right? They upcharge you for every text message or every phone call. Right. On top of that, we don't do that. Lindsay certainly doesn't do that. And I always say, hey, you determine what level of engagement that you want to have. Lindsay has been the most engaging of any of the great we have amazing dietitians who've been a part of our team over the last 12 years or so that we've had dietitians employed with us. Lindsay by far is the one who engages at such a high level. I've never had Lindsay say, oh man, I'm just sick of talking to people. He's always like, oh, I had such a great conversation, and just so exuberant about the levels of engagement, which is phenomenal. So that's just a little aside that I wanted to share. And I wish I had that type of access to someone like Lindsay as I was coming up as an athlete dealing with my own struggle, because you need that. We all need that outside perspective. You need an outside set of eyes to help you troubleshoot, because we're all our biggest enemy. We are the bottleneck in our own life. To have someone on the outside to say, hey, knucklehead, this is what you're doing wrong here. You're doing this stuff really good, but we got to tone this one area back. You're deficient in some areas. I see that you fall off every so often, that this thing happens. Let's plan and program for that. Let's do a deep dive into the blood work here. Let's really start to look at some of the deficiencies or imbalances. What is your family history? Well, that's going to be indicative of something else that may manifest 10 years down the road. Let's plan for that now. I mean, this road is a long freaking road. So I think it's awesome. Vivian, thank you for the question. And again, anyone can click that link below if you're interested in working with Lindsay. It's just a huge opportunity. Now, true evolution, this is a different question here, and I appreciate the opportunity. Lindsay, I think you're going to, have the ability to answer this one outside of me. It's outside of my purview. Thoughts on anxiety medication like Zoloft or Prozac? And because this is, I would say, slightly incomplete, that we don't have all the information, right? This is not medical information. We're not telling you to take drugs or not to take drugs. You must work with your doctor. So let's use this in the terms of, what can someone expect while pursuing their health and fitness goals if they're also taking a Zoloft or a Prozac or that class of powerful pharmaceuticals? And I don't have experience in that, and I'm not trained to have real input on this. So Lindsay, I'll defer to you.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of people that are on these drugs, on this anxiety medication. So I kind of walk a fine line when I'm working with these people, because I don't want to step outside my scope of practice in saying, like, I would encourage you to try to, and again, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a psychiatrist or anything like that, but encourage you, if you hadn't already done so, to figure out what you can do for your anxiety before getting on these prescriptions. So what is it that's causing the anxiety in your life? And can you fix that without these drugs? So can you control your stress? Can you get better sleep? Can you speak with a therapist? Can you find, something that you enjoy, like reading or meditation or exercise, to help handle that without taking these prescriptions? So that's one part of it. And then the other part of it, from a nutrition perspective, these types of drugs and antidepressants will increase appetite. And I've found that a lot of people that are on them, not only are they truly increasing your appetite, but there's also this placebo effect. It's like, I know that they're increasing my appetite, and they manifest on it, and it creates this whole different issue, because they think they're supposed to be more hungry, because they know that this drug is supposed to do that. So it's like this whole, issue that goes beyond. So again, without going too far, not that I would say, oh, never take this, like, don't listen to your doctor. I would never say that. So there's a lot of people that truly do need this medication. But I do think there's a lot of things that you could do prior to this, and this should essentially be your last resort. Because that's what happens. It's a big time appetite manipulator, I'll say.
Yeah. And that's, I'll just kind of add just, a little bit of anecdotal, having friends who've, been prescribed, Zoloft, Prozac, and other, options in that category. And then also clients who kind of go on and off. That, let's not be so worried about our abs, just to speak on the fitness side, because there's some other things going on, and let's come up with a lifestyle that can really help minimize the triggers, that these anxiety-based triggers. And we talk all the time about eliminating toxic people and toxic situations from your life, really getting focused. And this what helps me. So this is all anecdotal, not medical advice. Becoming very goal-oriented, very specific in a manner that is motivational in the achievement of small, attainable tasks, does wonders to create a brighter future and to build confidence in a way that if I can get up every day and I can make my bed, hey man, that's a win. That's a Jocko thing. I wake up, I make my bed, like I can sit down, I can meditate, I can start adding some really good structure into my life. Well, that structure starts to create a little bit of traction, a little bit of momentum. I get my walk in, I stay hydrated, I eliminate a lot of these triggers, synthetic toxic chemicals, bad foods, processed foods, like bad people, toxic people, like all that stuff. This does wonders. And a lot of people don't consider that aspect of health, general health, especially with regards to fitness. Now, some of these drugs, I know people, they take a little bit of Prozac here and there. And, back in my era, like the college era, people were snorting Prozac. Right. That was like almost like a party drug. It was a college drug, and Adderalls and all these different things. It was like, hey, crush them up, snort them. And that was like the big thing back in those days. Probably not the most ideal thing to do, and not the way the doctor intended. I won't speak specifically to taking those, but I will say becoming structured, but also having an amazing support system around you, having a great doctor that you're working with. And I strongly suggest all of our clients, no matter what the issue is, I always say, sit with your doctor and say, Doc, how can we minimize my need for prescription drugs? How can I start to come off some of these drugs? I understand in time, got to take it now. And how can we slowly start to reduce this intake and come off? What do we need to do? What protocols, what lifestyle habits need to be maintained? Maybe it's more talk therapy related. Hey, I don't know, but I do know people who have great benefit in some of these areas. That's going to be my small suggestion to you, True Evolution Nutrition. And for whatever it's worth, for yourself or anyone else out there, just know that we are here for you. We are in your corner. We love you. We cheer for you. We support you. We appreciate you. And if you need anything, whatever we can do to be helpful to you in whatever way that is, we are certainly here for you. And there's other great resources out there to help you. If you are in a time of need, definitely reach out to someone close to you. Definitely look for a relevant support line or support network. You are never, never, ever alone. So just know that. Let's see. So, David just briefly says, Klonopin for my anxiety, PTSD, and caloric stenosis keeps me fat, which is a poor excuse. David, it's one of those things. Hey, maybe that was necessary at first. Talk to the doc and say, all right, hey, doc, I understand it did, maybe it did something good on one area, but I got this negative outcome in these other areas. How do we start to work off this stuff now? I need to get my life back. How can we reclaim our life? Let's work off of this. That would be my suggestion to you. Nick L says, I wanted to give Lindsay a shout out for helping me drop 18 pounds on my diet program. About to do a second round with her. F you, Lindsay, which means effing unbelievable, by the way. So that is a credit here in the Dolce community. Nick L crushed it. Lindsay, if you want to speak briefly on that.
Yeah, for sure. So Nick and I speak on the phone it started out brief, but now we just talk about random stuff on the phone. It's actually pretty funny. Awesome. But no, so we speak weekly, and it's like minor things like, oh, I'm feeling a little hungry at this point of the day. So it's like, okay, here are a couple tips and like a little manipulations, things that you could do. So that's kind of what we were talking about before. It's like the back and forth. So anybody could give you a plan, like, here's what you should eat. But the hard part is dealing with all the other stuff. So like, oh, and now I have to work out at this time because my work schedule changed, blah, blah, blah. So that's really the part where I enjoy helping people kind of figure out their day and figure out the best way to accomplish their goals. But I have an unread message from Nick. I think he wants to talk today, so I'll probably be talking to him a little bit later on. Usually he makes fun of me because I go for a walk while I'm on the phone. Okay. He's like, are you out of breath right now? I'm like, yeah, I'm walking. Don't judge me.
I'm walking at 8,000
There was a hill.
Elevation. Yeah. Walking with Cameron Haynes.
Yes.
And again, just briefly, if anyone's interested, if you're just hopping in, we are giving away these amazing Dolce coffee roasters, 15-ounce 4-finger mugs. This is the original, the Dolce coffee roasters limited edition mug. It's a little beat up from my fingerprints on it, but it is awesome. These are free. I think we're selling these for about $18 or so. These will be free. If you text the word coffee, text the word coffee to 732-487-3445. We will just simply ask that you cover shipping to your house. We were not charging you handling charges, and you can choose your shipping option, USPS, UPS, however that goes. We'll teach you. We'll send you a code for that, by the way, as far as the 100% discount for this mug. So that'll be coming through to you. Again, click the link in the description below if you're interested. And let's see, Knuckles says, Mike, calisthenics workout program versus weights for fastest, most effective fat loss. Thoughts? Me personally, I'm going to say both. We want to move the body. What are your goals? Train doing something that you love. Train something that challenges you. Train something that you're not awesome at, so you have to come back to get better at. But I will say, look towards low intensity, steady state cardiovascular training, fasted first thing in the morning, and then something in higher intensities, whether it's with weights or it's calisthenics. You can train what we say is moderate intensity steady state, which is kind of jogging. You can train high intensity resistance training. You can train HIIT, high intensity interval training. HIIT is more on the cardiovascular side. Think of like Concept 2 rower for like 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. Assault bike, which I hate her. She's over there mocking me all day long. Like, you want some? You want some? I'm like, no, I don't. Stop. And then we high intensity resistance training, which is like, man, high intensity, like resistance training. It actually is a version of intervals also, because you hit your set. Let's say you're 20 to 40 second set, and then you have a minute or two off in between. right? So that's very similar. We want to train in all aspects of that. So we want list, we want miss, we want hurt, we want hit. We want all of that to be a part of our regular training program. So that being said, Lindsay, if you want to share.
Yeah, I was going to say your specific goal is fat loss. So I think a combination of things. I think the hurt or the high intensity resistance training should be like the basis of your program, and then kind of use the rest of the styles of working out as supplements. Yep. Now, if you're somebody that's training for a half marathon, then obviously moderate to high intensity, long duration exercise, that's the basis of your program, with supplements from resistance training and high intensity interval training, things like that. So it depends on your overall goal. That should be, the basis, but it shouldn't be the only thing that you do. And it keeps things moving. You're using different muscle groups. You're, working on proprioception and balance and things like that. So a combination is always, I think, the best in my opinion.
Absolutely. I agree. Now, also, anyone who's just joining, we are hiring for a part-time remote assistant. We figured we're going to go to our community instead of going to the traditional, headhunters and job posting sites. Let's go to you guys first. If anyone has a background in customer service with a strong skill set in writing and typing and copy editing, because you're going to be liaising, you're going to be speaking to people via email, typing, texting, but also helping with some of the content that we publish, whether it's the online content or the internal documents, maybe doing some behind the scenes research, which might be listening to like the Rogan podcast or Chael's podcast, pulling some interesting pieces of information. This will be a paid position, part-time remote. Once again, send us a brief introduction to who you are and how you can help, what your skill set might be. If you have any Word, Excel, Zendesk, WordPress experience, man, that's going to really help out a lot. But we can train the right person or right people. And also, if you have any digital marketing skills, hey, jump on in. This is a wide open casting call for anyone who has any sort of relevant skills to add. Strong customer service background, which means you just care about people. You are patient, you are loving, you are empathetic, you want to help people, but you have to be organized. You have to be structured, right? Do not dick around. Do not, if you're supposed to be logged on at let's say 9 a.m. and you're not, hey, we can't be with you. You show up on time, you show up ready, you show up, prepared to go and do your best. That's the attitude that we have here, but do it your way, do it your best. We certainly don't micromanage, but we do expect you to meet the premium standards that we set and also to serve our amazing community. So that's where I become very specific. Man, our community has high expectations of us, and we must exceed those expectations. If you want to help exceed those expectations, come. Please. And who knows? So maybe you have some audio video skills. Maybe you have some podcast editing. Maybe you are a YouTube or a social media expert as I'm talking right now. Hey, throw us, maybe that's not for this specific posting, but there are some really cool stuff that we have going on here as the world continues to branch out into digital. Shoot us. We have the time. Our team is growing, or our .com presence keeps growing, and that's something that we absolutely need. And I'm going to add this right now. So this is thedolcediet.com. You can click the link below to learn more about this. But if you're interested right now in getting in the best shape of your life, our 4-week or 12-week personalized online diet and exercise program, go to thedolcediet.com right now and check this out. Some of you might not have ever seen this, but I got a bonus for you that you might have received. The online responsive mobile application is incredible. Everything is personalized here. It's all available to you. And you actually have access to our international global community of users at our site. So definitely check it out. We can see, our testimonials of actual users are freaking incredible. Check it out. But here's the thing, content-wise, did you know we have over 1,200 free articles at thedolcediet.com? Did you know that? Over 1,200 free articles at thedolcediet.com, all waiting for you. We have amazing recipes. 3 easy crock pot recipes we freaking love. Yes, you can jump in and take advantage of some of my most favorite recipes out there. Weight cutting, we cover that. We have more information coming on that soon. That's actually being built out as we speak. And we just got lots of great stuff. Strength training for high school wrestlers. Bam. We got this information, just lots and lots and lots of great stuff at thedolcediet.com. I just wanted to share that for you guys if you haven't checked out that. And there is a discount, 25% off, promo code TRANSFORM right now for you guys if you are interested. Get into the best shape of your life. Get that summer body ready. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for being here. You are freaking incredible. Ask the Dietitian edition with Professor Lindsay Howard. Click the links below this video if you want to work one-on-one with Lindsay, whether it's a 30-minute consultation or working with her as your private dietitian over an amazing 8-week, very intensive, in a good way, program. That's in the links below. Your blood work, letsgetchecked.com, and also certified Piedmontese, the only beef in my house, the only beef I feed to my family. Promo code Dolce, save 25% on grass-fed, grass-finished, ground beef delivered for free to your door. Why would you not do that? Lindsay, you have anything to share to our amazing community?
I don't think so. It's been great. Good questions today. Good conversation.
Absolutely.
Yes. But as a reminder, it is too late to get into shape for the summer, but it's also not too late.
Yes. It's not too late. It is too late.
So don't just give up on it now, but next year start earlier.
And I will say this, hey, all right, so beginning of summer, well, summer started. Well, what about the end of summer? What about August? Do you want to finish your summer with that smoking hot body you've always wanted? Well, we have all June, we have all July, we have all August, and summer doesn't end until early September. And every single day you look better and better, and every weekend you look better and better. So be smoking hot this summer. Make the change now. And look in the links below in the description. We can definitely help set that GPS to your future body. Until next time, boom.